Well, hello internet, here we are. We got ourselves a start to a day in progress, but I thought I would share a few things with you. And yeah, welcome to our vlog, so here we go. Well, today I'm feeling a little bit rough between the running arounds that I did over the last few days and the fact that I was feeling rough, last week kind of a thing that has, I think, stuck around a little bit longer. Been pushing myself, trying to get the trailer ready and make sure everything is good for the big road trip coming up. And well, there have been some issues and some hiccups. And those issues and hiccups require, solving. Sometimes, I've lost the receipt because it's been 6 months, or sometimes it's just a hassle to have to drive all the way across town to exchange a simple $20 part or adapter, and it's just a headache. Well, went out today, went back to the trailer to grab some of those odds and ends that were kicking around. Made sure the battery was still holding a charge, made sure the winter pink stuff was flushed out of the water lines, which is not really a big deal because I don't really plan to drink the water. To call it a phobia I have, but I don't really plan to drink the water that is in the holding tank, so it doesn't really matter if the pink is in there or not. Made sure the fridge was running on propane, so it started now, and I've got a gauge on the tank, and I'm going to gauge to see how much propane the fridge uses in 24 hours. So I'll go back out in 24 hours and check the gauge, and if it's down by a half a tank, then that means I get about 2 days out of a tank on the fridge, running solely on propane. So that basically means is once every 3.5 to 4 days or so, I'll have to get those tanks filled or exchanged, or else I'll be without a fridge. However, I won't be completely without a fridge or freezer because the fridge does run on 12 volt off the battery, whether it's plugged into the truck or standalone. Plus it'll run off of a shore power if plugged into, well, shore power. So of course I went to go try my receiver and ball that I had bought probably a month ago, and I'm not sure what I was thinking when I bought it, but the one I bought, which I thought was the same one that I had last summer, which for some odd reason has gone missing, is not the same one that I bought this year. So I had to go all the way back to Princess Auto, and I was, struggling with the heat, being fatigued, struggling with pain, because, well, it's just not, it was a rough day today. It is a rough day, and I bought a receiver and a new ball to put on there, and I get back to the trailer and start assembling it, but I got no strength in my hands to tighten the whatever it is there, 1/8" or whatever that nut is on the end of the ball. I just can't do it anymore, and so I'm gonna have to find another way. I do have an electric impact, and I may have to buy a socket and use the electric impact off the Jenny and make it work for me. So it is what it is. Well, on the way home I drove by the house, and I went down the back alley, and I noticed the tin fence is shedding a couple of panels, mainly because they moved my load-bearing tire pile that was holding up the broken panel. The reason why they did that is because they got in there and trimmed some of the scrubby trees between the fence and the shed, which I tried to do in 2014, but then my saw got up and walked away. Then I bought another saw the next year, but by then my life had changed and I couldn't physically strong enough to get back in there and deal with them trees. The old board wood fence, the one that fell over and I clobbered it back up, is still standing so far. They haven't replaced that yet. However, they have sided the garage. They sided over top of the window in the back toward the alley, which is what I wanted to do eventually. And it looks like they painted my wooden window on the east side of the garage, as well as replaced the walk-in door on the garage itself. It doesn't look like yet if they've painted the fascia on the garage. It doesn't look tinned, and it doesn't look like it's been painted yet, but they chose kind of a chocolatey brown, per se, I guess, for the siding. Well, the house itself, they have sided the east wall where they blanked out the kitchen window, which was sort of what I thought about doing myself when I did it. However, I probably wouldn't have blanked out the kitchen window. I would have made it a smaller window because it's nice to have a window to look at when you're doing dishes. However, they might have moved the sink, you never know. It's kind of interesting how they're putting the vinyl siding over top of the rotten old wood siding, just like the person before them did. But at the same time, I guess, well, it saves them money having to rebuild it, right? And if you look down the driveway here, past the big red bin, you'll see a brand new garage door in the garage, which is kind of interesting as well. You never know, maybe he had a buddy that could hook him up with a cheap garage door, because when I wanted one, it was going to be like $1,800 for the garage door itself, and then like another $300 for the walk-in door. So that was why I built my own garage door for like $150 that lasted from 2014 to, well, it probably still would have been lasting. It lasted the best part of 5 years with no issues at all. As well as, if you notice here on the west side of the house, where the driveway is leading up to the garage, they've also sided that house, or that side of the house. I'm not sure why they've only sided the walls without windows, but I think it probably has to do with the fact either they're waiting for their custom ordered windows to come in, or they're waiting to see what the next course of action is to deal with these old windows. Are they gonna just leave them and let the next guy worry about them, kind of like they've done with some of the other stuff, or do they have custom windows coming and they are just waiting for them to get here to finish the siding? It'll be interesting to see the inside of the house when they get done, if they totally redid the inside with new drywall, new windows, new doors, new cupboards, refinish the hardwood, you know, new flooring in the bedrooms, new flooring in the kitchen. You know, did they find hardwood or parquet or some kind of flooring in the kitchen that was covered up by that crappy subfloor, or was it just that asbestos tile that I'm pretty sure that house was full of? You know, did they renovate the bathroom? Because when I did that bathroom shortly after moving in there 12 years ago, it was a cheap, low budget bathroom. no frills, no nothing, steel tub, cheap vanity, and there was no luxuries at all in that bathroom. And I think the bathroom itself was something like 5 feet wide and 5 foot wide by 6 or 5 by 8 or whatever, so it was barely big enough to be called a bathroom. Especially to get more than one person in there at a time would be almost impossible. It's a good thing I didn't go with my blue soffit fascia and eaves troughing like I was gonna, because it would have looked really, really funny. Blue soffit, eaves troughing, and fascia with their chocolate brown siding, but that was my plan. But the last little bit I decided just to go with white because, well, with white then you can go with blue siding, which is kind of what I was thinking, right? And ordering the windows with white trim instead of blue trim would be a little more easier and things like that. But after that, came on home here, watched me a little bit of a movie, relaxed a bit, trying to decide if I want to crash for a bit and recharge, which seems to be what I have to do now to get things done. I can't get things done as fast as I once did, or as easy as I once did, and it takes some time to do a project or a job now, and I have to shut down once in a while to shut down once in a while to recover, to rest, to recover a bit. And tomorrow's another day. That's why you start early, getting prepared for projects. This road trip, you know, I've been planning this for the best part of, well, 3 years, but been planning this for the best part of the winter, really. And now that it's warmer since April there, I've been trying to do the best I can. And now we're having days that are plus 23, plus 24 Celsius. There's some warm weather to get out and double check and fix and get things ready for the road trip, which will be here before you know it, because, well, time just flies by regardless of what your thoughts are. So yeah, see how she rolls. We'll catch y'all later. Well, hello internets, here we are. We come to the end of another day. It's been a bit of a busy day, a bit of a painful day, a bit of a rough one, but hey, it is what it is. Trying to push my boundaries a bit, learning to stay within where I need to be by going over the limit and feeling the pain, feeling the repercussions. But I guess that's how you learn, right? You know, you don't know a knife is sharp till after you cut yourself with it at least once, right? You know, fire's hot, and most of the time you learn that it's hot because you touched something that, you know, was hot, right? And sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. And me living my old life now, living the new life, which I'm living now, is a lot of learning curves and pains that I have to go through to know the difference. So hey, this time next year I'll be better at it than what I am right now, right? Hopefully. Well, I'm sure glad that I've done doing the dry run or trial run of everything, because if I waited to the last couple of days to run around like an idiot, I would be late going, or it would be a really stressful time to do everything, because, you know, there were a few things that are critical that that I've run into over the last, you know, week or so of the things I've done. And, you know, I've been working on all this setup for, you know, a month or so, and I had planned to actually do a few runs in May. However, between the weather and the way I was feeling, May wasn't a good month, and April was an even worse of a month because it was just rough. June is shaping up to be a little bit of a better month, So we should be fairly good at what we are doing, right? Or at least try our best to get her done. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I might be resting a bit tomorrow, but then I'll hit her hard the next day, because there's some returns I need to do. I need to track down a new receiver and ball for the truck, because the disaster that there is there, and get that done. And you know, the trailer only weighs, well, it weighs less than 5,000 pounds, so I don't need to go overkill on the insert and the ball. So you know, I don't need to spend $150 on a hitch. I can get away with one that is, you know, slightly less, you know, class 4 instead of class 6 or 5, and things like that. You know, go with a slightly lighter hitch, and it is what it is. But pretty much, guys, gonna end her all here. Today was a good one, tomorrow's another one, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.